What's up, everybody? It's Make It Make Sense, and we got a lot to discuss. I'm sure y'all are a little surprised by this video. Like the video as the intro plays, because we got to get right into it.
Make it make sense. Could somebody please make it make sense?
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense. That's all. 1 and 1 got to equal 2.
Big moves.
Surfer.
Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you see. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things of your dream. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you see. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things of your dream. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense.
Robin, to me, she never really gave me
Feminine? What's up, everybody? Okay, where to start? I typically am not the kind of person who addresses stuff, but anytime that who I am as a person comes into question or my credibility, that's when I have to kind of like step in and address it. And you guys probably didn't know this was happening, but it was happening about a month ago. And it was like so many channels were talking about me. So many channels had so much to say. And it's just me. I'm the kind of person where you could reach out to me and I'll answer your questions. This started with Love and Marriage Huntsville. And people were like, you don't really cover the show. And I'm like, but I watch the show. And if I see something and I want to say something, that's every, YouTuber's right. And when I go into a topic, I don't go into it with fear because I know, God orders my steps. So he has blessed me, even with all the stuff that I'm going through. I'm comfortable in who I am. I did a video because there was some custody stuff all over the internet about Love and Marriage Huntsville's Melody and Martell Holt. And when I did my video, I gave step by step as to why I did the video. Melody's cousin had come out and said that the custody was 50-50 and there was no child support. So, okay, done. Melody came out with her post saying she was glad it was all over, vindicated. Yeah, thank you so much. Guys, hit the like button. It lets YouTube know we're here. We only got 25 likes. We got almost 200 people in the chat, so definitely hit the like button. It'll help. Y'all know I took a vacation and YouTube is punishing me. Thank you, Molly. I appreciate that. So anyway, Melody's cousin gave the outcome. Melody did a post saying it was over. She was glad it was over. It was a trying time. And I think she put vindicated. And Martell had been doing all of these posts and they were just very, very negative. And one of it felt a little gay bashy because he didn't want Melody's brother, who's gay, to babysit the children. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, let me fact check, see what's actually going on. So I got the documents, and that was another thing. People were like, Martell gave you these documents. He's being paid by Carlos King. It was crazy, the amount of stuff. And I don't follow everybody, but shout out to the straight shooters who are in the Love and Marriage Huntsville bushes. They let me know exactly what was going on. And I kept telling them, please don't go out and windmill for me. Please do not windmill for me. Right is right, wrong is wrong. I'm the kind of person where I'm not above reproach. The straight shooters keep me honest, but I knew I hadn't done anything wrong. So I said, please don't windmill. I don't need you guys involved in any of that. And I'm not really going to address it anyway. I just kept moving. You got to keep pushing forward. Anyway, we get to the point where, people are like, this was illegal. And I'm like, no, I didn't do anything illegal. So I tried to do a live where everything got explained, and that went awry. People were Team Martell, Team Melody. I don't have anything to do with that. I just present people with the information. And technically, in the custody, when I saw the questions that Martell was asking Melody, I decided to do a video because I was like, the majority of us probably have not gone through a divorce or a custody. And this is the kind of stuff that you want to know. This is the kind of stuff that endears people to what somebody is going through. And I felt like Martell was asking all of these very intrusive questions of Melody. What's the passwords to your social media? How much money do you make? Which that one is fair if you're in custody and you're trying to get child support. I get that. But how many men have you been with since we haven't been together? How many men have been around my children? Passwords to your cell phone. Like, it was very intrusive questions. And my first thought was, how is this legal? So I brought it to you guys. Now, here's the thing. So many people were like, this must be closed and, you know, cancel memes. They put me on a do not watch list. Like, me, of all people. Like, of the people on YouTube, I'm probably one of the most harmless because I'm shady but fair. Right? I was shocked, but I just had to keep moving. Y'all know I have a lot of personal stuff going on, and I couldn't let that, you know, I'm blessed by God, so I can't let things like that really bother me. But y'all know I was in DR, and when I got back and I watched the episodes, the exact same thing that I said in that video, Melody said on Love and Marriage Huntsville. So I'm going to let you guys hear so we can go proof by proof, because none of the people who wanted to cancel me have ever said, oh, my bad. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe he didn't illegally obtain this stuff. Like, crazy. But this is what Melody had to say in regards to the questions that Martell was asking her. And y'all tell me in the chat, if this was closed, how could she be talking about it on Love and Marriage Huntsville in front of the camera crew, into the world, if it was closed?
So, child, so you mean to tell me Martell tried to control me when I was having his last name, and he's still trying to control me when I'm trying to change the last name? Now, this right, this happy about that.
I'm sure you're not. So, unfortunately.
I know I was surprised even some of the things in that case, you know, being asked. I mean, I didn't, you know, this is my first time dealing with a custody thing. So I was like,
rightfully so. I sided with Melody in this. I said Martell is obsessed with her. I don't know what would, let's continue.
Why does it phone records? Like, I felt like that was invasive. Why is your attorney asking for my phone records? I understand a little bit, I guess, bank statements, because you want to prove that the person is able to take care of the children.
You know, we objected to a decent amount of stuff.
Yeah, because one of the questions they wanted to know that he had his attorney ask
to
my passwords to my social media.
Never had a judge once.
This is all I was saying. She was surprised that Martell had the balls to ask her that, and I was surprised that she would have to go through that with all the stuff that Martell had already put her through. Like, literally, I have no idea what I did wrong in the scenario where they are talking about it. Melody addressed it. Martell addressed it. It's now on the show. So why would I be on a do not watch? Like, my intentions were pure. It was to say, dang, you could get cheated on. I said all this in the video. Let me show you the video. Oh, I don't like that.
This is why, in my opinion, I think that Martell is still obsessed with Melody. He's asking the court to ask her all of these very intrusive questions. What are the names and addresses for all business, social, and charitable meetings, events, and other face-to-face contacts during your time of custodial care of the minor children? So she needs to basically let them know everything that she's doing while she's with the kids. What banking institutions, credit card companies, gas companies, credit unions, are software applications, including but not limited? What are the nature and kind of business interests in which you are involved with, as a defendant or any of your children? Have you ever been arrested? Like, it was a crazy amount of insane questions. I literally, guys, I know I'm a man, but I was raised by a Black woman, and I am closest. I have my Black sisters that I rely heavily on, and they rely heavily on me. 99% of the time, I'm going to side with the single Black woman. And in this situation, Melody is the person who has been damaged the most by Martell. So even if I'm not a millimeter, I side with
what she's going through. I get in trouble all the time from subscribers. They're like, I don't like that you go so hard for Melody. But I'm like, if you were cheated on national TV and embarrassed on a TV show on a platform where you put people on, I'm only siding with what I think is right. But I let my subscribers think and say what they want, because that's how we have these conversations. I do open panels and I say, people who love Martell, come up. People who love Melody, come up. People who like Carlos, come up. That kind of stuff never matters to me. But literally, you guys wanted to cancel me for stuff that ended up on the show, and I don't get it. My intentions, although I might be shady, are 9 times out of 10 gonna be pure. We got almost 400 people in the chat. Go ahead and hit the like button. I don't intend to do this too many more times. I don't really come back. I don't go back and forth. I never will. I'm never going to have a YouTube beef. You'll be beefing by yourself. But I thought it was important that you guys see that I'm not paid by Carlos. Don't know the man. I'm not. Martell definitely didn't give me anything that he would have no reason to like me. I've eaten him up every chance that I got. I just, so let's continue. Let's continue. It's crazy to think. And for those of you who might be going through a custody hearing and this video was something that, these things your ex might do to you. It was the point of the video to let you know they can really try you in court. But okay, let's continue. This was a scene from this upcoming episode where, again, Melody addresses the same stuff that I had in my video.
If I would have had transportation, I would have been there.
That's Kiki.
It's just another excuse. And the judge's ruling, she tried to say it's clear that the father has the best interest of the children at heart, but the court can't say the same for the mother.
You're supposed to be sticking it.
When I saw that, I was like, how is that? We all know Melody is a good mother. And I feel like the stuff that Martell was doing in court was probably performative. So how could the judge not see that? That was the premise of the video. What was this about? Like, honestly, I'm gonna start dropping the link so you guys can come up, but I'm gonna let you guys hear what I had to say. I literally went play by play, how it came up, what I did. I don't know. I have no idea in this situation why the people who wanted to cancel me put me on a list of do not watch. Like, it was crazy. It absolutely, I have no idea. But let me let you hear what I had to say. Oh, let me drop the link first, though. Anybody's welcome to come up. And again, this is not one of those chats where people don't have a voice. Anybody can come up and share their opinions. It is what it is. I'm not that guy. Have your own thoughts. That's what a true free thinker is. You can disagree with me. I get called to the carpet all the time. Shout out to the subscriber who I thought that the people in the submarine had been found. I saw this stuff online where they were saying, oh, if I had won the $1 million for finding the people, and come to find out, people were doing all these horrible videos of, but the people still hadn't been found. And at that point, they were probably no longer with us. So one of my subscribers wrote me and was like, Mims, they haven't been found. And I was like, oh, deleted that post really quickly and moved on. Thank you for keeping me honest. And I'm always going to be that guy that you can come to and tell me, well, I don't know, what was going on here. Let's see. Where it orders. So I was shocked. It says, since the inception of the current litigation, both parents at various times have demonstrated to the court an inability to co-parent and have displayed an inability to follow the court's sanction orders against the father. But sanction could just be you did. During the current trial, the court has found the testimony of both parents to be less than what? Each favorite thing for anybody to tell you, judge is a little sassy and high strung like Kim Phil's husband. But anyway, actually, I think it's a woman, to be honest with you. Regardless of the frankness of their testimony, the
So the judge is actually praising Martel and is placing his children's best interest first. The court acknowledges that the father has made positive strides and is placing his children's best interest first. So the judge is actually praising Martel and goes on to say, however, the court cannot find the same for the mother.
I was shocked. I was literally shocked when I heard that. And so I did a video. So for everybody who thought that this stuff was sealed, ask yourself, could people be disseminating? Could Martel be talking about it on his lives? Could they be talking about it on the show? So I let everybody come up. I'm friends with quite a few of the millimeters, and I get hate because I side with Melody, even if I'm not technically a millimeter in this situation. So it's like you can't win for losing. But I just wanted you guys to know, because I know a lot of you guys follow the Love and Marriage Huntsville day to day. You heard a lot of things about me, like I couldn't be trusted and all this. And the problem is I didn't do anything wrong. It's now on the show. So again, I won't be addressing stuff like this. And let me go ahead and start letting people up. What's up, Larger, Corey, Love Jones, and Shane Renee? What's up?
Hi. Good.
How's
it going?
I'm good. I mean, I got other issues, but this ain't one of them.
Right. There's problems in this ain't one.
So what's up? Where do you stand? Larger, you were first.
Yeah, the Love and Marriage Huntsville crew, the people love that show for some reason. For some reason, people are willing to cancel everybody and do anything, and they put people on the list, and if you don't agree, and it's just so crazy.
Hold on. I think Love Jones, would you mind muting really quick? I think there's an echo.
What's up, Larger, Corey, Love Jones?
Love Jones, would you mind muting really quick? Because I think there's an echo.
What's up?
Okay, you could continue, Larger.
Yeah, I love your POV. And you know what? We're all entitled to an opinion. None of us have to matter. These are all shows.
Love Jones, I can't seem to mute you, and I can't seem to stop the echo. So I'm just going to drop you really quick. Oh, okay. Love Jones muted.
Where do you stand? Larger,
now you unmuted. Now you muted. Okay, Larger.
Oh, no worries. Like I was saying, I just, I dig your POV. And I love that we all have an opportunity to give our POV. None of them have to match. None of them have to match. And anybody who says that, oh, you're a horrible person because you don't agree with entertainment that is coming off really scripted, as a matter of fact, is crazy making to me. I just don't understand it. I don't understand it.
So I'm not saying it was the millimeters. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying for anybody who went off on a tangent saying, I was wrong and questioned who I was as a person, that's who I'm saying. Now you've seen on the show that everything I said was true and that there was no ill will or malice. I'm not blaming the millimeters. I mean, I've talked to quite a few of the millimeters.
Did I say it was millimeters fault? I didn't mean to say
No. It's in the chat.
Okay,
No.
I don't want to come into my ass either.
I'm not blaming the millimeters. Like who you like. I'm just saying in this situation, I didn't do anything that wasn't presented on Love and Marriage Huntsville, which means it's not a closed case. And Melody even came out, I believe, and said that it was not a closed case once the case was settled. And we don't just have to talk about this, guys. We could talk about the show. We could talk about, I did a video on Carlos King where people were turning on him because they're saying,
okay. Well, I think people should turn on Carlos King right about now. Didn't he just do another interview where he's like, oh, Martel made Melody. She's the woman she is and all this stuff. Did you hear about that interview?
Wait, say what?
Carlos did an interview where he said recently that Martel made Melody the woman she is.
No, I didn't see that.
I'm going to have to send that I'll send it to you. But it's crazy town. Yeah. So people do need to come for Carlos because he's sounding like a bag of bananas smashed against a wall. He's not making any sense.
But he couldn't even pass his test.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. Okay, my turn's up.
All right, Corey, jump in.
All right now. Okay. This is crazy. This is so crazy. I don't think the real millimeters are after you or were after you. I think they were
I
crazy
never said
enough.
it was the millimeters. I just
It
said
wasn't.
people. I didn't say millimeters. I just said people were trying to cancel me. It
That's crazy because you're always fair. A little shady, a little messy, but always fair, right? And I think this is stupid because one, Carlos King has done any and everything to this woman who helped him create something that made him almost equal to Bravo, okay? Which he always wanted, right? Why on earth would he allow this two-bit hustler and a abusive man do what he does to Melody on a day-to-day basis as a woman who is a DV survivor? I see all the signs. I see it. You can call me crazy. You can call me a crazy millimeter because I believe this Carlos is facilitating the mental and emotional abuse of this woman on a weekly basis.
No, Corey, let me stop you right there really quick because I've been saying, I've been keeping my ears to the street, and Corey's not alone in this thinking. To me personally, I like the show. I watch the show. I usually watch it in bulk because it's not a show that I review, so I can watch it like multiple episodes at a time. I think that some of the stuff is a little stale on it. But for those of you guys who don't watch the show, some of the things that Corey is saying, I've heard it echoed all up and down YouTube. People feel as though he's allowing Martell to remain on the show, even though he does things like has that, revenge P. That kind of plays into that. So just, you can continue, Corey.
Yeah. As a full disclosure, as a content creator, I cover it every week on Lola Lane. We do it every week when we do come on, and that's part of our repertoire, and I've watched it.
It was actually content creators, which is why I was really surprised. If a subscriber says something or doesn't like, care for the things I say, that's okay. Because like everybody can have their opinions, but it was actually content creators, and that's when it gets a little tricky. Because I won't sit and bash other content creators. So
as you shouldn't. Be the classy person that you are. Okay. A little rough around the edges, but you know what I mean.
We're gonna do rapid fire, and then it's gonna be no holds bar. So I'm gonna let everybody unmute. Okay. TJ, you're up.
Hey, Mims, how are you?
I'm good.
I'm really glad for this panel. I want to first say that you are not one-sided. I do not always agree with you, but I respect what you have to say because you give facts and you give a different point of view. That is the point, that everyone is not going to agree. So thank you for your integrity.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. But getting back to the Love and Marriage Huntsville, the issue there, and I'm not going to stay long in it. I think they jumped the shark. In other words, they focus so much on a divorce and so much negativity. People do not watch these shows for only negativity. It is bringing unhealed trauma to a lot of the followers and maybe even content creators. And I think that unhealed trauma with past relationships has really affected the show.
TJ, would you eat one of Miss Wanda's potatoes?
Why not? I like Miss Wanda. I don't like her. Like, she couldn't be my friend, But I like
Miss Wanda. Those potatoes be scaring people, TJ.
I would eat her potato. I would at least buy it. How's that?
Well, thank you for being truthful. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt.
I would support that. But yeah, I think that he allowed Mel to have too much control of the show. And I say that not because of what she's going through, but it was too negative. They were always fighting, her and Keisha, with their husbands cheating. And then Martell's acting a fool right now because he wants her back. But then she acts a fool. And it's to me, this is just my opinion. I happen not to like Melody. I feel for her and her trauma. I really do. But in a sense, she incites a lot of chaos. In other words, when she put up that little, was it a tweet or something, Instagram? I don't know. She put something out there about Carlos and Martell and then took it off. right? That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. That's where I stop having sympathy for her. I empathize, but when she does things like that, he goes low, she goes lower, he goes lower, and they keep going lower, and they don't stop. And no one, I don't want to keep seeing that play out. I've been through too much. If you think I want to see Mel and Martell and speculate if he's abusive to her and this and that, I'm sorry. I don't have it in me. I don't.
Well, can I ask you this, TJ? Because I really appreciate people who do not agree with me. That's what makes it fun. If everybody agreed with me, I wouldn't want to do an open panel.
That's right.
So let me put it like this. So let's say, you had somebody you don't F with, and they did some really effed up stuff, and you kind of came up with this concept. You've been wronged by the person. Now the executive producer or your co-executive producer is going on a publicity tour with that person to help clean up an image that they created. Do you know what I mean? It does kind of feel one-sided. Like, why didn't he do that when Tisha was going through the fire, or Maurice, or anybody else?
Because that's what he wants. He's an executive producer. That's what he wants to do. You don't have to agree with the man. You don't have to agree with him. He wants to keep Martell on. He may think Martell has a better long-term story with Ariane, the children, dating. He may think Martell is more interesting to the narrative. And Martell is friends with everyone. Mel, I think he understands Mel is going to leave that show for good reason. Mel is going to leave, so he has to hold on to Martell. So I believe that's what Carlos is looking at. He's not looking at all these feelings. He's thinking business and strategy. That's just
I could see what you're saying. I feel like, for me personally, just looking at the show, if they took out some characters and added more characters that weren't like the same central characters, I could see the longevity and people with money, not like Tiffany.
Right, like Stormy.
I want to see lifestyle stuff like that, and maybe less of the mamas, because it feels like almost every mama in Huntsville is
when they have an attitude, everybody's mad.
Shay Renee, jump in.
Hey, Mims.
Hey.
It's just sad to me, like, as a fellow content creator, I see different things, and I've even seen people say little stuff about me sometimes on their channel. And, I know that can be disheartening, because we all are simply coming on here, sharing and expressing our opinions, and people are going to gravitate to who they want to watch,
Right.
This whole blackout list or whatever they have, I just think it's absurd. I think that, when you get to the point where now you have to belittle or try to talk about other content creators, to me, it just feels like, are you running out of material? Because at this point, what we need to be doing is engaging our audience and not causing strife betwixt each other, if that makes any sense. I just think that this is a big enough platform where there's enough room for everybody to express themselves in their unique abilities, and nobody else should have anything to say about it. Leave it to the subscribers, because as a content creator, I'm also a subscriber too. So, but with me having those dual roles, right, there's a level of respect that needs to be there. So I would never, like, even me, I've seen things, and, but I'm not going to run back and be like, oh, somebody did this and, somebody said that. I'm just like, okay, well, whatever. That's what they want to do over here. I'm going to keep it clean and cute over here. And I think that's what you do all the time. I never see you low rate or say anything negative about anyone else. You stick to the topics. And that's really what we need to do, is stick to the topic. I will never do a whole diss video talking about people and all of that, or even submit somebody's name to some list. I think, just being frank, that's corny. I think that we need to really run your channel the way you want to run your channel, and don't worry about anybody else. Do your thing. Subscribe, do what you need to do to keep your subscribers happy, where you can have an engaging conversation with your people, because your people are going to come to you. And I think, Mims, you hit 50,000. That's amazing. you know,
Thank you.
new levels, new devils. You know what I mean? And I think that that's just one of those things. Some people
Well, I'm waiting for more money, more problems, but
listen.
that hasn't hit yet.
Okay, that's problems I want. Okay,
I'm waiting for that.
don't check for me unless you got a check for me. Okay? And that's just how I think of things. Like, I don't address stuff. You'll never see me addressing anything. I'm just going to review my show, talk to my people, and keep it pushing. Because at the end of the day, these people that are hating and doing all this stuff that they're doing and having their little chats behind their paywalls or whatever they're doing, I mean, you can know it, but you don't have to address it, right? And I think that's just what we have to do. And I'm sorry.
This stuff wasn't behind a paywall. People send me all kinds of like clips, the stuff about me being paid by Carlos King. Where's the check? I could use some money.
Okay.
I mean, that stuff wasn't behind paywall. So again, I don't address anything because I'm never going to be in a YouTube beef with somebody. But at the same time, it's like if you come for my integrity, then I have to speak up.
Absolutely.
And this was just proof positive that I literally didn't do anything that there was nothing that I would do that would. I'm just not that person.
And you're not, and people can sense that it's very genuine. It comes through the screen, you know what I mean? And I think that, you know, it's just one of those things. Like, and I watched that video that you did, and it's funny because as I was watching the show, I was like, wait, I heard this already. And it's like one of those things where they're saying it on the show. So it's like, and Martell even said it, and I'm gonna say allegedly because, you know, you got to say those things in here. But in his interview with Queen Sheba, he said, yeah, and I'm sharing the information with different people because I just want to get it out there. I want people to see that I'm not this bad person and that I won in court. So I believe that he was out here sharing that information prior to, you know, making everybody privy to it, hoping that would change his image with the public. Now, because he's doing a dastardly deed behind the scenes, it doesn't mean.
Well, let me say this really quick. I've never had any contact with Martell. Martell ain't never gave me no paperwork. I've never had contact with Martell's people. I don't know Carlos King like that. I don't know any of these people. No, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that because
Mims has nothing to do with anything that I'm saying. Okay. But what I'm saying is, as a person that watches these videos and I saw him saying that, it just feels like to me that, not saying that he gave you that information, because I mean, all of us have seen different things and different chats and all this stuff. Like, we're all privy to different information, and you know, it's just all about who decides to share it and who doesn't, right? But he even put himself on Front Street in that interview saying that this is what he wants to do. He wants to get this information out. So I say all of that to say, as content creators, do your thing, but don't try to do nothing to nobody else, because it's not going to elevate you at all. That's just my opinion.
Till you do right by me. Thank you, Shay Renee. And Love Jones, we're gonna do some rapid fire, and then I'm opening the panel up to everybody. Love Jones, you're muted. Love Jones, you must want me to sing the Love Jones song. Is that what it is? We'll come back to Love Jones. Cheryl Howard, jump in.
Hey, ma'am, how you doing? Hi, ladies. Hi, everybody. Oh, God, what is the world? First of all, Martell is the one who leaked all that information out to whoever content created, he leaked that information out. And what is the world coming to where women think that it's okay?
Hold on, what information? Like the information
the court documents, whatever.
No,
not you. Not
I was
you.
about to say, yeah, Martell, I have nothing to do with that.
No, not
that
to
was
you,
all
ma'am.
My own brainchild.
No, not to you, ma'am.
I went through the steps to get that. Yeah.
No, not to you.
Okay.
But allegedly, in my opinion, I was hearing he leaked that information out to some people. The court.
I wouldn't be surprised. For me personally, my integrity was in question. That's why I.
No, I love you, man. I love you. I've never known you to speak any ill will against Melody. That's for one. And two, I'm just wanting to know what makes women think it's okay for men to abuse women, misogynistic men, and now this is all Melody's fault. That's what I want to know. She's supposed to stay with someone that's abusive, stay with someone that's putting out revenge P, you know, just an abusive natured person. Why would she stay with someone like that? And I don't understand a lot of these pick-me's that think it's okay for a man to be abusive. Look at his storyline. He has a wanted convict on this episode.
Oh,
that's how bad. I don't see how Carlos King is helping him. Martel looks so bad right now. I'm telling you, he looks so bad right now that it's crazy. He got a convicted felon on the show who's wanted, but Carlos is helping him. Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that. Carlos King is not helping Martel fix his image. His image cannot be fixed. When he look in the mirror, he can't even see himself. Martel is a energy vampire. Period. Nothing he can do is going to help Martel. And if he let Martel take over this show is definitely going to be, it's already over. But once he take over the show, it's over for sure. Martel has no storylines, none, other than to abuse women, lie, cheat, and steal. That's what Martel does. And how can he help his brother when he's a convict himself? Period. So a lot of these pick-me's need to stop all this nonsense about Martel is a good person and all this nonsense. He's not a good person. He tried to take her children away from her. He tried to take her children away. And then, not only that, but he went to court and sued his 3-year-old for a part of her the line that she has out. He tried to sue her for that, a 3-year-old. How he going to explain that to his daughter when she get grown? That he went in court and tried to not only sue Melody, but sue his 3-year-old. So people need to stop with all this. He's a good guy. It's nothing good about Martel. Period.
Pretty Special says Mel leaks favorable information as well. She didn't give me no information either. I'm pretty much a pariah to a lot of the reality stars because when I come out, I just kind of speak my piece in my mind. So I've never had any contact with Melody or Martel or Carlos King. If she leaks information, I don't know. I didn't get it.
Melody puts the information out on posts. Martel sneaks around and do it. He sneaks and do stuff. It's not the same thing. It's someone coming there, putting their life on camera for millions of people to see, than him sneaking around and going on smear campaigns against her. That's totally different. So I don't see what they're talking about.
Thank you so much, but you can stay up. Again, we're going to be open panel to talk about all this stuff. No, help yourself. I can't see who was next. Well, I think Sean was next. Sean, jump in.
Hey, Mims. Hey, panel and chat. I just wanted to have a quick, just say this in support of you, because you are the least problematic person on here. And I appreciate you and the content you bring for being fair, in your words, shady but fair. And I'll say this, when it comes to all of this, Google ain't staying up at night or walking the floor trying to figure out how to pay nobody. So for people to want to put out a list and telling people not to do X, Y, and Z is crazy to me, especially when it's hard for Black content creators to get the same exposure as white content creators. So it don't make sense. It's a show. Let's review the show and leave it there. We ain't got to go with all of this and all of that.
Sean. I mean, when I'm looking at reality shows, to be honest with you, what I try to do is I always try to give, especially all Black cast, a chance.
Right.
Like, just off general principle. Love and Marriage Huntsville was funny to me. I watched Bell Collective. I don't do all those Ready to Love shows, but I do watch these shows, and it's not like that bad. Now, the mess and the drama is off the show. That is true. And it does propel people to watch, but, you know, please don't question my integrity, because I try to move in ways that, you know, are fair, and a lot of people don't. And I also let people come up. There's people in the chat who are millimeters. There are people who don't like Melody. I don't silence any of you guys. Have your conversations. That's what the dialogue is about. That's what YouTube is about. The show is the show. Talking about the show is the fun part. That's why I do it.
Yeah.
But some of these people, Larger Curves, Corey, Shay, and Deep Conversations with Sean, if you're liking what they're saying, they're all content creators. Definitely subscribe to their channels. They have great points of view. Please continue, Sean.
Yeah, that was it. I just want to come and show my support and say their part. We all got it's big enough for all of us to eat. Google ain't worried, why are we? And if you don't agree with somebody, just move on. You don't have to go to the extent because you can be up today and be down tomorrow. So we got to be careful what we putting out because you may be on that list the next day. That's all.
All right, and stay up. Dolce, it's your turn. Then Love Jones and Courtney.
Hi, Mem. So this is my first time calling in and talking, and I've been following you for a while. I think your content is really good. You do a lot of research, so I really appreciate that. I've been a viewer of the show for a while. I watch it with my husband, and it really exposed the lack of business acumen that Martell actually has in his divorce from Melody. So that just exposed him at a greater level. And I think that exposure is just heightened him and made him like an animal in a way. Exactly. So it just has made him outrageous. He's doing all, I'm really actually worried for Melody because I actually have a friend who was almost in a similar situation with a husband who was cheating, and they just would not stop. And then once they leave, then suddenly they want their family back, and that makes someone dangerous when they lose everything. So me watching the show, I get a little triggered on that side of it, but they do play tit for tat. Let's just admit that they do, and all the stuff that happens on social media that happens as well. But it's coming to a level where it's not really that fun to watch, but I'm gonna stick with it because I am trying to support, the show overall. But it's a good conversation to have. I'll just say that. Can't hear you.
You. I still watch the show. It does get a little hard sometimes with the outside noise, and sometimes the episodes can be a little boring. But it's not a bad show. I'm gonna keep watching it. And don't be a stranger, Dolce. Come up anytime I do these open panels. It can get a little rough around here when it comes to love and marriage.
Well, I was watching. Okay, so I go to bed really early because I wake up really early. But I was so hot when you had your last panel, and it got into the whole what was it? It was like not the women seeing the men's point of view more, and I agreed with she's up in their corner. I think she was the one who was really saying like the women. I can't remember the topic exactly what was the language of it, but it was the woman just seeing the men's point of view only, and a lot of women only see a man's point of view, and they don't have the empathy for another woman. And I was just so angry with that. So I was like, I have to come on this time and say something about that.
And you're free to do it. Somebody put in the chat. They call it male identified. Is that what you're talking about? When they say somebody's
Yes,
male
male
identified?
identified. That's what it was. And there's a lot of women like that, and there's a lot of older Black women like that, and it just comes down. And I don't want to get into slavery, but it really is. It's all those tactics just to divide us, and we should be looking out for other women first.
Can I say something? I'm sorry.
Jump in.
Mims, I understand what the sister's saying, but here's the thing. When you say you're male identified, what I'm not identified with is how Mel attempted to make the Scott marriage look a mess. Now, even if it is a mess, she spent a lot of energy on tearing down that marriage. People will deny it and say Tisha did this and Tisha did that. Mel's marriage was already destroyed. The energy she spent on that marriage said a lot about her. I'm sorry, I do empathize with her, but I do not like her for that one thing. I do not remember anyone on TV being that hell-bent on proving that a man cheated on his wife. Now she's saying Tisha did this and Tisha did that. From what they said, that this man was flying around Huntsville with that young girl before the show came on. So all I'm saying is stop acting as though you didn't know. And then to try to destroy someone's marriage, how much empathy did she show? You would think because her family was being destroyed, she would not want to do that to another family. And to say she brought people on the show and they're turning their back on her, I'm sorry, I'm not messing with you. There's no way I'm messing with you. The things she has said, all the things she said about
Yeah,
the
no,
women,
no.
he was a side piece and all that. Come on, I feel bad for Melanie divorce. I think Martell is mean to her. I think she gives as good as she can get, but not with those hands. So I'm not gonna say he hit her, but I have my ideas. But I do not feel bad for Martell. I feel bad for Melody about the breakdown of her marriage and her home. But no, I do not like her, not because I'm male identified. I think she's mean. I think she's petty. And
I hear you.
But
I
Miss,
think a lot of that is where you get into this mistakenness of the two is there's reality TV and there's what we see and then the stuff they agree to not talk about. So when Mel went out to eat with Tisha and Tisha brought up the BMW that the other chick had with Martell, I don't think that was supposed to come on TV. So if we have certain things we're not supposed to talk about, but once it come to reality TV and you expose it, I'm going to come after you as well. So that was a pivotal moment in the show. I don't know if you guys remember. I think that was season 2 in the beginning.
Okay, so y'all want a little inside information?
Yes.
I'm limited on what I can say, but I think some of those conversations where Tisha brought out stuff, because at this point the whole cast knew. I think that was almost producer driven, right?
Obviously.
Because when Love and Marriage Huntsville came on, it was like small town people, like the movers and shakers. But once that scandal really hit, it like propelled the show. So I think some of that, I'm not making any excuses for Tisha. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I do think that some of that was producer driven because it wasn't like a question that Tisha didn't know.
Agree.
And Mims,
Let me.
aren't they still together? Aren't Marcel and Tisha still together?
Yes.
So how was their marriage destroyed if they're still together?
It's not about the marriage being destroyed. It's disrespectful. It's unnecessary. It's immature. And it's mean. No matter what, Mel decided to base that show on her life. When she started this, when they came on the show, they were not together. They came together as a married couple for the show. I guess, for their family. I understand why they tried, but I don't think it was a sincere, let's get together because we love each other. There's love there, but, they both didn't appreciate what they had, especially Martell, obviously, because he can't pass the deck on test.
Has
What
Love
did
Jones
Melody
and Courtney,
have?
Hold on 1 second. Has Love Jones and Courtney Clark said anything yet?
I have not.
Is that Courtney or Love Jones?
It's Courtney.
Courtney jump in and Love Jones jump in too.
Okay, I just wanted to say, Mims, I love your channel. I don't always get to come over here, but every time I come over here, I love your shadiness. I just love your content, and it's always fair. And what people have to realize is that content creators is their channel, their page, and we're all free to just click off if it's something that is not, something that we don't agree with, something we don't want to hear. Move on. Is plenty of other channels out there. Find something that's to your liking. It's just rude to come to. That's just like coming to someone's house and trying to tell them how to arrange and order things in their house. So I just, I love it over here when I do come. Your chat is always split. It's always a good debate. So I like that portion. As far as next, I wanted to go to Love and
I have a
Marriage
question for you. Could your
Mhm.
husband move into a bachelor pad and move you to a 3-bedroom apartment down the street?
My husband could not be from Love and Marriage Huntsville.
I'm sorry.
I don't
When I
think
heard
any of
that,
those men are worthy to be husbands, any of them. So absolutely not. As far as Love and Marriage Huntsville, this was my first week not watching. I've been a huge supporter of the show. I, love the show. I'm team male. But I think I'm done with actually watching the show. I'll just catch content creators. I love Shay Renee. I love her when I get to catch her because I work a lot, so I don't catch people all the time, but I do. I saw True T in the chat. I love her roasts and reads. But it's gotten to the point where I'm over it. I think and it's everybody's entitled to their opinion, so I'm very respectful. I'm a free thinker. I let everybody think how they think, But I'm a DV survivor as well. And it's crazy to me. Like everything Mel has been through, I swear, I was like, I've been there. Like even revenge P, my ex sent it around my job. So I've been there. I've experienced these things. And people can always tell you how people can disrespect you and disrespect you and disrespect you. And then people think that they have the audacity to tell you how to respond to the disrespect that you're receiving. So, and with as women, the young lady that was just speaking before me, men can have about 10, 12 strikes. A woman steps out of character one time and people are going, I'm telling you, I've experienced it. Because you are the woman, you're going to get the bitter. You can be the one who left. You can be the one who packed up, left, decided to go on with your life, but you're going to get the bitter tag, he's a great dad, or whatever. They don't care if he's dragging you through the mud. And it's just the show has become too toxic. I don't respect what Carlos King is doing. When everything came out with the revenge P, they didn't do so much as release a statement to just address that. That's so serious, and the way that they're trying to sweep it under the rug like it just hasn't happened, like it's just so minute. I just
and it better
can't.
get addressed at the reunion.
But the reunion is like October, November. Like that's the end of the year. It happened now. Address it now. Like I want to hear something now. I don't want to see you going on press tour.
There should be like something on the episode that says, this happened.
There should be a suspension, firing. Like I need something. I don't need you to be doing press tours. I don't need every time Martell does something for Carlos to then go on his show and debunk what Mel is saying.
Exactly.
I don't need him to say when Mel said that he tapped her phones and she was receiving his personal phone calls, people calling for Martell to then go on his show and say, well, that's probably a bot. Real Housewives had a bot thing. Bots don't call and ask for a specific person.
Thank you.
I don't need him to continuously put on his, like I said in your chat, he puts that S on his chest, and he's Superman and windmilling out here for Martell. You can't help somebody that don't want to help themselves. Martell is the holder of that. When he decides that he wants to be a better man, be a better father, and stop with his antics, then he will then propel himself and help himself. But you can't help a person that don't want the help, because they're going to make a fool out of you every time. And Carlos and Martell are going to be each other's downfall. People always saying Mel is doing this, Mel is doing that. But people have to realize when a woman is fed up and tired, why she can't never speak up for herself? Why does she have to be so mild and docile? And
you brought up a really good point, and there's very few things that could really tie us all together. I don't think anybody in this chat, whether you love Mel or you hate Mel or you love Martell, we can all admit that revenge P, where he admitted to trying to expose her in that way, that behavior needs to be condemned. First off,
it's a felony.
Illegal.
Yes, sure is.
It was gross.
Secondly, I think that no matter where you fall, that was foul and disgusting, and that's something I think we can all agree on.
They should have had a disclaimer at the end of one of the episodes as soon as it happened, saying that we don't condone any type of anything like that. Something to the point of that, like they do on Bravo. But I want to quickly address something that someone else said. I'm sorry, I think it was Carrie. I'm not sure about when you were talking about Martell, because me and Sean got to drop down. We have a panel we have to do in a little bit. But I wanted to say, with Melody and the whole her trying to break up the marriage thing, I think what some people are missing is that, I'm going to say allegedly, but it was talked about on the show, which I don't think a lot of people remember. The money that Martell was giving Coleslaw was being funneled through the Scotts. The Scotts were helping him to cheat on Melody. Okay, so with me, if I'm friends with you, I'm kicking the bobo with you, we eating dinner, we hanging out, and we all supposed to be collectively friends, and then I find out that not only did you know all of this time, but you were helping him in the BS. There is no way that I'm going to sit here and act like I'm cool with you. And then secondly, what I want people to pay attention to, okay? Everybody's like, okay, it's so what? Everybody knew about her getting cheated on, whatever. She knew she was getting cheated on. Did you ever see on camera Kimmy or Tisha come to Mel and say, I'm so sorry that this is happening to you? How can we support you as your friends?
Ooh, chop.
We never saw them do any of that. We never saw them to her as a friend, yet we saw them getting massages and calling her bougie, coming to her parties, trying, doing all these different things. I don't know about you, but my friends wouldn't react like that. My friends would come to me in a sisterhood to be there for me. And the last thing I'm going to make a point of, which I don't understand, is the core six. All six of them are around each other. All of them have dirt on each other. If you don't believe that Martell and Melody have pillow talk where he wasn't telling her about what Marceau was doing behind her back, Tisha's back, you got another thing coming. Because while Tisha was hiding it, so was Mel hiding it. So now with you coming on a show talking about a BMW and letting production persuade you into, letting the cat out of the bag for me, now I'm going to give it back to you because you're not giving me sisterhood. In comes Tiffany. Y'all don't understand. Tiffany is here for a reason, okay? Because Carlos King knows that all six of them, whether they're on the oops or not, they're not going to reveal everything about each other. They're not going to spill the beans on everything, no matter how much they dislike Mel or try to make her look bad and vice versa. None of them are ever going to truly spill the beans. That's why Tiffany is planted, because she has no alliances with anybody. So she's going to be the one to pull out everything that the viewers want to know, whether we think we like it or not, whether she's annoying or whatever. She's definitely the production puppet.
Well, can she do it after she has the baby? Because I don't want to see her rush to the hospital pregnant anymore. This show is causing you stress, lady.
Right. That was fake. I think that was so fake.
You thought the hospital
I
scene
don't
was
think
fake?
Tiffany gonna have the same energy once she had a baby. I think this is only because she's pregnant.
Real quick, don't most marriage vows like literally say, in sickness and in health, till death do us part? So you want me to be mad at a woman for trying to get to death do us part and work it out with her man, and then persecute her for being faithful to her vows that she took before God and that fool with community peen? But I'm supposed to turn around and blame her because she was trying to keep her family together when it said in the title, till death do us part. Can we make it make sense?
Period. And can we stop acting like we as adults can't work through our emotions? Can we stop acting like we're not supposed to have feelings and feel those feelings and get through those? Like people expect somebody to drag you through the mud, cheat on you, have a baby on you, do all these things, and you just wake up, hey everybody, how are you doing? No, I'm mad today. I'm
Girl,
mad.
you gotta
Y'all
tell
gonna
her.
see me mad. I'm upset. I might want to fight you today. I might want to fight you tomorrow. I might want to curse today. I might want to break something today. But I'm gonna get through it and I'm gonna work through it. And you'll see me on the other side when I get there. Like, stop acting like we're not humans and we're just supposed to wake up because the camera on and act like I ain't going through that.
You know, I'm so tired of Tisha and Kimmy playing in our face. They know they both are misogynistic fools that mean them no good and emotionally and verbally abuse them and try to keep them barefoot and pregnant no matter what. I'm so sick of the whole entire thing. But when Mel say go, I'm going. But until then, I have a duty to my public to report and be shady and messy.
All right, y'all. Well, I just want to say thank y'all. Thank you, Mims, for having me. I'm gonna drop down because we in Sean Rob panel in a few minutes.
Who's hosting? You or Sean?
Sean, you said what?
Who's hosting? You or Sean? Are you guys
tonight?
Okay, so
I'll catch the replay.
Yes. So y'all
definitely
stay.
thank you guys for coming up. As always, I appreciate it. Sean, see you later as well. The link has been dropped. For anybody who wants to come up and sound off. Love Jones, have you had a chance to talk?
She was having sound issues. I told her hit her refresh button.
She's muted now. Cue the content guy. Jump in.
Hey, friend, long time no see.
What's up?
So you know I don't watch anything Carlisha has going on, but
real big bussy energy.
Oh my god.
But
Oh my God. That's great. I love it.
Listening to what everybody's saying and watching the Twitter, as Giselle calls it, I have to say that people want him to release something about the revenge, P and all that kind of stuff that came out. But you got to remember how he did Candy over on Housewives, because during that season, I think he was one of the producers that put that bug into Phaedra's ear. Whoever put the bug in whoever's ear, but they ran with it, and then it just came out of nowhere. But they never released a statement. He was the producer on that show.
Now,
that season.
Candy did say she cleared Carlos of that one thing. She said some other stuff that she says he did to her, but she cleared him of the R allegation thing that Phaedra put out.
Okay, well, she cleared him. I didn't. So I think and then I think the thing is, like, I try to get into, I remember when the show first came on and people was like, oh, you should watch this show, I was kind of over reality TV at the moment because it was just all over the place. But it's so many episodes and so much is happening that it's so hard for me to go back and try to get caught up, because he keeps throwing this show at everybody, but the ratings are in the trash. Like, nobody's really watching the show. If this show was on any other network, it would be canceled. You wouldn't have a Love and Marriage Detroit. You wouldn't have a Love and Marriage DC. You wouldn't have anything because the ratings are not good. And I think the ratings are not good is because you're shoving it down everybody's throat. It's like, how many 80 episodes a season? Like, how am I supposed to catch up and figure out what's going on if every time something happens, you got 50 more seasons, 50 more episodes coming out? You're not giving me a chance to catch up.
I don't know why. I don't know how it gets broken up, because I mean, even just being season 6, it feels like we're closer to 9.
Yeah,
the way it's broken up. Yeah,
and then you have DC up here, which I don't know why that show not canceled yet. You got DC up here. You gonna break DC down. You got season 1 that was happening that was complete trash. You got season 2 that's going on. You gonna pause season 2 and put it on a break, only to bring it back in a little while to do part 2. Why? The show is not good. Why are you breaking this stuff down and doing part 1 and part 2? And then you got Detroit. Like, child, who asked for that? Like, so it's just that he's so busy worried about what's going on Bravo. Like, we get it. You're not on Bravo. You're not going back to Bravo. They would have canceled your show a long time ago. Continue to be on the own network, because that's the only network can give you opportunities to do it. Outside of that, you know how I feel about Carlisha. I am not a fan of hers. I can't stand her, and it is what it is. And I think him and Martell got something going on behind the scenes.
I second that.
I concur.
Allegedly, I second that.
I don't think that's funny.
Love Jones.
I don't even think that's funny, because now as a dig. Yeah.
Say that again.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, I don't even think that's funny, because
to hear you.
Yes, because I'm just like, this is nonsense. Like, at the end of the day, we could have sympathy and empathy for Melanie, but at the same time, we can also see the flaws in her the same way we can see the flaws in the rest of the cast members. I'm not putting her on a pedestal. It was definitely the Mellometers that attacked you. At the end of the day, don't nobody else's fans do none of the mess that they do. They get on their platforms and have showed you time after time after time how invasive and how deep they go and dig. So at the end of the day, they was mad at you. They was mad at you. Hey, because you let me up. Hold up, man. They was mad at you because you let me up and I didn't agree.
Hold on. What I want to say is the Mellometers or anybody who does not have a platform is one thing. You're entitled to your opinions. You can disagree. It's when somebody who has a platform does something like that and it's different, because I would never do that to another content creator.
And that's what I'm trying to tell you. If you notice, a lot of these people who have the platforms are Mellometers. They'll tell you they're Mellometers. They wear her shirts, all of that. Even homegirl that did the interview with Martell, she straight up told him, "Oh, I'm a Mellometer." They let you know that they're a Mellometer. And at the end of the day, we're not gonna act like she didn't get busted season 1 being in them Facebook groups
giving out information. How are we gonna know who Arion was if she didn't leak it to the Facebook group? She leaked Arion's social media name and all that.
Absolutely not. She did not.
Martell
did
chose
not.
Queen Sheba. Just to be clear, Martell.
Hold on, we got only one person.
Martell went to Queen Sheba, just to be clear.
These male identified women are killing me.
We can't hear y'all.
I'm gonna have to mute everybody.
This is what I'm talking about. I'm not male identified. At the end of the day, I absolutely believe in women empowerment, but at the same time, I'm not going to sit there because I'm a woman and then co-sign another woman who is being nasty and evil.
Bring it down.
Because I'm a woman,
you don't have to scream in your
her
mic.
nasty and evil ways because I'm a woman. I'm not male identified, sweetie. At the end of the day, y'all going to stop saying because somebody don't agree with me. You want to name them all type of names.
Everybody but Love Jones is on mute. So Love Jones, you have every right to have whatever opinion you want. Just tone it down just a little, just the volume. You can sound off whatever you want.
They was trying to overtalk me, and I don't like that. Oh, you're a pick me. Yeah, I pick me. I pick my opinion. I pick my experience, and I pick how I want to feel. You're right. I'm a pick me. I'm gonna pick my opinion just like you picked your opinion. And they definitely did attack you because you let people up here like me that ain't up males behind. Period. Not everybody, we can have sympathy for. Yes, I feel bad that she went through that, but let's keep it a buck. She sold her own family for money and fame. She went on national TV. She wanted to be famous, like Martell kept saying. And they brought that show to Carlos King together. It wasn't just Mel, and Carlos King will tell you that, and she told you that. He ran into them in the airport, and they both pitched it to him. So it's not just her show. Period.
So that ain't right.
That's
so
why
let me
he can't
step in. So let me tell you how that Love and Marriage Huntsville came about. Wasn't in no damn airport.
Right.
Carlos King said that they came to his office in Atlanta.
Interview, but I wasn't even finished talking, sweetie. I wasn't even finished
and he
talking.
said that Mel pitched that show to him. Mel pitched the show. Like you talking, but you just all
together, like I said. They pitched it together, like I say.
Hold on, Love Jones.
This is what
I'm gonna mute you. You'll be able to respond after Love Jones. Please continue, Love Jones. You muted yourself, Love Jones. Love Jones, you muted yourself. I didn't mute you.
Can you hear me?
Cheated on.
The other thing is that when Mel,
well, now y'all
somebody getting cheated on right now. So, like at the end of the day, like you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So
that's my whole point, man. You see how they do, right? You start. They also was able to give their opinion without anybody interrupting them.
If you're gonna say something, speak facts.
Because I don't agree, so let me finish, and then you can rebuttal. So let me finish, and you can rebuttal. Hit me with the facts after I finish.
Love Jones, she's muted, so just the volume. Bring it down just a little bit, please.
Okay, like I was saying, Melanie was leaking information. One of the reasons why people don't even like to watch the show because of overzealous fans. Anytime you don't agree with her, they automatically attack you. You wasn't the only one whose name was on this so-called blackout list of YouTubers not to watch. It's a whole bunch of YouTubers that are not up her butt and that are not biased and that is not just dragged the other cast members that was on that blackout list. Let's just keep it a buck. Okay, so it's anytime you don't agree and you're not up her butt and you're pick me or you're male identified, and no, I'm not none of that. Why are you labeling me because I don't agree with you? That doesn't make me male identified because I'm not up this one particular woman's a-hole. And that ain't say I don't sympathize with her, but at the same time, I'm not gonna overlook her nasty and evil, deceitful ways neither.
Yes,
just because she got cheated on.
Very
all right.
Okay, well, Love Jones, you definitely have shook the table. But on this platform, everybody's allowed to, speak their opinion. T, you got the floor to rebuttal.
Okay, so first of all, Martell did not pitch the show to Carlos. Carlos specifically said that Melody pitched that show to him, and Martell sat there with his mouth closed. He didn't say one word, right? Nothing. When the show started, Melody didn't want to, when she found out that Martell was still cheating, she went to Carlos and she said, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. Carlos specifically told Mel, I will hold your hand. I will make sure that everything is okay, so we can continue to do the show. Mel didn't want to do the show. She wanted to cut it, right? But Carlos was the one that told her that he would look out for her so they could continue the show. Secondly, all of that strife between the cast members started with that damn 40 acres, right? They all stood to make hundreds of millions of dollars at least with that. Just we'll do a forecast. Building out a development. Mel and Martell was already making millions before then. They had connects. If that actually would have went down, all of them would be millionaires right now. But when Mel found out that they were trying to backdoor her and Martell, when we were sitting around that table and talking to the loan officer and found out that Maurice and Marceau's name wasn't on those contracts, Mel found out that they were getting bamboozled. So they backed out. That's where all of this really stemmed from, besides Ariane. They got pissed off at her about that. And so Martell and the rest of them ganged up on Mel and came for her. Right? Thirdly, Tisha absolutely knew that Ariane was sleeping with Martell way before they got on that damn show. Okay? If anybody was blindsided, it was Melody. It was her.
There's so much I could say. There's things that I've been told off the record, but
right, because they ain't on the show. So that's hearsay.
I'm not finished. I'm not finished. Let me talk. Let me talk. I'm not done.
Hold
Be
on,
quiet. Let me talk.
We gotta let T. She waited, and it's her turn to retort. Please, we can't have these conversations if we can't be respectful. Y'all can agree, and y'all can even agree to disagree, but let's just keep it respectful.
The only
even
time
the people listening need to be able to understand what you're saying.
The only time I seen Mel reply or say anything negative online was she was responding to something. I personally have never seen Mel come online and post something or go after someone just out the blue. I've never seen that. Even on the show, she avoids them. She tries not, even in her interviews, she doesn't talk about anybody on that cast, like, to a point where it's derogatory. Somebody asks her a question, she'll answer it, but she doesn't go in depth talking about them, to the point where, they're gonna come back after her, like they do her. I've never seen that. I may be wrong, but I just haven't. The only time I seen Melody do that, she was responding to some BS that they were saying about her. You understand? And with that porn thing, yes, it happened a year and a half
ago.
Say the P
word. Don't say that word.
I'm sorry, the P word. As far as the
on her. So come on now.
Well, I'm not trying to say that Mel is perfect. And no, I'm not trying to say that Mel is perfect, because none of us are. She is not without fault, and she'll tell you that herself. She said that about herself too. But just imagine being a woman in showing empathy. We don't even know. I personally think, this is just me, I think he put hands on her at some point in that marriage. I'm just saying. A lot of things Mel has not said or shared with us, but I think mental abuse is worse than physical abuse myself. And so I can really empathize with her with that. Does Mel want to build a legacy? Does she want money? Does she want to be successful? Yes, that was her goal from the start. That ain't nothing new. That's what she wanted, right? Carlos helped her get there. So I don't see what the dig was about that. Everybody on that show wanted the same thing. It wasn't just her. But at the end of the day, we all see who really about their business. We all see who really, because if Martell made Mel, how come he hasn't made himself?
Oh God, thank you.
Can you hear me?
You are kind of muffled. You are kind of muffled.
I'm just saying it just don't make sense to me. I'm not out here trying to say that people can't have different opinions about Mel.
I want to ask you
Ma'am's just trying
something.
to talk.
I want to like take you somewhere else really quickly, because I did watch this last week's show. Do you agree with the cast being asked to do everything kind of like for free because of the amount of money that they've made from the public in the show? You remember that part on last week's episode?
When they were sitting around the table?
Yes. Oh, I see why my audio is messed up because from. Do you hear me now?
Are you talking about when they were in the meeting with Tisha and everybody? Talking about the expo? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes. Do you feel like everybody, because of how much they've made from just like the public, to do it for free?
Well, I'll say this. When you do things, nobody that expo wasn't going to be for free. Tisha and Marcel were going to get paid from that event. Period. If they had sponsors in there, the sponsors were paying Tisha and Marcel. So if they were getting paid, how come everybody else can't get paid?
Well, I think that if nobody's getting paid, nobody should get paid. If they're going to do it, like, to be honest, this is what I would like to see. You guys know I do a lot of like charity work. If they could make this pop, help the community, donate their time, and then whatever proceeds they get from sponsorships go into a pile that is like maybe a Love and Marriage Huntsville College Fund, or a, Love and Marriage Huntsville help the community get jobs, things like that. That's what I would want to see. But no, I don't agree. If you're saying that nobody should get paid, then that includes Tisha and Marceau. And if they put money up to start the project or, get the stuff together, then the only thing they should get back is the money that they invested to start it. But in terms of if nobody's getting paid, nobody should get paid.
Well, I always see Mel doing stuff in the community. I always see Mel doing things in the community. Only thing I see with Tisha's Marceau is when they at the club outside because they ain't got room on the inside, partying it up. I think Mel does a lot in her community. I know she's big in her church. I've seen her being invited to a lot of things in her.
But just for this particular
3 years,
particular thing, if nobody was going to get paid, this was an opportunity.
I don't think Mims, I don't think it was really about money for Mel. I think it was about the fact that
I'm not just addressing it to Mel. I was saying overall, I like the idea of nobody actually collecting a check for this and giving
I think
back.
the whole thing with the sponsors is.
Who's talking? I'm sorry. Was that T?
I want to
move on really quickly. No, it's no problem. Courtney, thank you so much for the super chat. She says you letting Love Jones can be completely out of pocket. On my channel, I allow people to have like their free thought, whether I agree with them or not, as long as they aren't like cursing or getting out of pocket. Oh, you used out of pocket. As long as they're not like cursing or really being derogatory, then I allow people to have their opinions, just like I let T, give her full rebuttal. I want to jump to Autumn in LA, and I'm scared to jump to Richie B because I don't know what she's about to say.
Can I clarify something really, really quickly?
Okay.
Oh, jump in really quick. What do you clarifying?
So when I said, because I like to get up here and I like to stir the pot up and cause mess, because that's just
what you do.
I never said Martell and Carlisha were gay. I just said I think they have something going on behind the scenes. So everybody was all in their feelings when I made the comment. I just said they have something going on behind the scenes.
So. I just thought it was funny.
Yeah, because it's like if you're gay, would you want because you're using it as a dig when we know that man is straight? So you're using it to be negative. Being a gay person,
we don't know that for sure.
It's like you don't
Whitney, my cousin,
be looked at negative because you're gay, but you use it as a dig towards a straight man. Like,
but it wasn't. But my thing was, I was really just making a joke, and I was just trying to do, what I do best, which is be shady and messy. Carlisha is gay. That's a fact. But I said behind the scenes, they're always doing interviews together. That's all I was saying, sis.
Right.
All right, off to Autumn.
Okay, boo. Hey, man. Oh, long time no chat.
What's up?
Hey, okay. So as an
I'm
ex
just asking
millimeter, I have
you see the optics of that. Though.
It was a joke.
okay. So as an ex millimeter, I have to say this because this really does irk my nerve. Is when they group all of us together. Okay, so she has fans and she has what I call like these obsessive cult people who like see she does no wrong and like I wasn't that person. I was a fan of hers. I wasn't trauma bonding with her. I couldn't relate to what she was going through. There's parts of her I did like. So we have to make that distinction when we talk about the millimeters because not all are the same. Okay, I was a fan of hers. I am not anymore. I'm over the show, and I'm telling you guys, like it's been like a breath of fresh air just dropping that show. Like just the negativity between all the block, just everything. It's been I can't even tell you. And I've been watching Mims since season 1, and I love that show. But what I did want to say was going back to Carlos King. Um, my point on Carlos is I understand what you were saying, Mims, but I agree with everybody else saying that he shouldn't be really commenting or have such a deep opinion on Real Housewives of Atlanta, Beverly Hills, this and that. When his own show, he doesn't even do his own show like that. He's not posting interviews like with them people on his show like that. You know what I'm saying? He's all about
Well,
viewership and they not getting the views.
he does do interviews with the people from his shows. I just don't think that those trend like his interviews with like say
I looked at their views. They absolutely do not.
they don't trend.
They
I mean,
absolutely
but that's fair, Autumn. Like I said, I keep my ears to the streets, and I always try to keep it respectful when I'm talking about other content creators. But there's something to be said about Carlos because he's kind of like a pseudo celebrity or a celebrity. You know what I mean? So I've heard that people don't feel that Carlos is putting as much sauce in his reviews about his shows, but he's very critical of like Bravo shows. So what
you said it
happens is
perfectly.
Bravo fans get very upset because I know a lot of Bravo fans went to Carlos's channel because he was a
Mhm.
subject matter expert on RHOA when he first came out. Like if you go back to his channel and he was like dropping little pieces of dirt of when he was a producer, everybody was
Mhm.
here for that. But I think
Mhm.
now what I've been hearing
Right.
is people don't necessarily like the amount of emphasis he puts on every little thing on RHOA, and he does not hold his own shows to the same standard.
Absolutely not. You said it perfectly. And I do want to kind of just say, I don't know who was talking, who was just saying how Mel, she does take accountability. Part of the reason I did stop watching, and again, I was a huge millimeter, I'm not going to lie, but that some of the things that she did, I did clock, and I didn't like it. It was like very underhanded, and she does start mess. It's just that she's very smart in how she does it. Like for example, bringing Kiki on to talk about Tisha. Honestly, I didn't like that because I think we should leave family out of it. But anyways, that's really all I had to say, ma'am, was just that there are two different types of fans for Millimeter. The people who go to Stormy's job, the people who call and try to get people fired. I think that's obsessive. I think it's crazy, and they need to get a life. For you to even do that for somebody you don't even know who's not paying your bills, it's sick.
Oh, okay. Well, Autumn definitely sounded off. Thank you, Autumn. Now I'm really scared to talk to Richie V.
Hold up. Let me put my earpod in.
Hold on really quick. Courtney, thank you so much for the super chat. I'm just playing with you, Courtney. Don't take anything I say personal. We got a couple more. Nicole says, keep up the good work. Stay beautiful, people. It's actually Nakase
I
T. Jonah. I
understand
hope I
Courtney,
said
but
that right.
homegirl was interrupting me. Something I didn't do to other people when they was talking. So I apologize about that, Courtney. I didn't mean to raise my voice like that, but they was cutting me off. I guess you just didn't notice that.
Look
But
at
okay.
that. That's a beautiful moment. We got
And
resolution all on the same
that's the
live. Look at
beginning.
that. Hold on one
I
second. We
had
got
one or
more
two.
super chat. Hold on one second. And Quincy, most reality TV is over by season 3 to 4, and ATL is on 15. So you do the math. Okay, please. we're coming to near the end of the show, Richie. Please don't set my channel on fire. Go ahead and put your
Whatever.
hair in a bun and do what you.
So I just wanted to address the lady that was just talking a few seconds ago. I feel like she wasn't able to say what she wanted to say because it was not in favor of Mel. And I don't know like the difference in the millimeters that are up here, but you know, when people get frustrated, they tend to holler and scream, and it just seemed like an unfair, like she was getting jumped. That's just my opinion. Now, I didn't see the beginning of the show or whatever, and I'm not deep into Melody's life like that, and I don't know who said what to who and where and what and all that. I'm just speaking from the perspective of the show and what's shown on the show, and I feel like Melody is ruining the show. And let me finish what I mean by that. So when it first started, Melody and Martell, they were the show is like focused about them. They were an integral part of the show, and you had this couple presenting themselves as, you know, I guess you could say socialites, the creme de la creme of Huntsville society, the perfect couple, but it was a house of cards and it all fell down. And that's what, you know, I loved all the comeback group stuff and the Black excellence of it all, and I wish we could get more back into that. But what we all gravitated towards was the drama between Mel and Martell, and to go from that to now, Melody is like completely checked out. She doesn't want to film with Martell. She runs for the hills when he comes in. She doesn't want to share her life. She doesn't want to participate in the group activities, even when she is in the group activities. Now she's just above everything. She doesn't, it's just too ghetto for me. And we don't act like that. And the tea and the ladies and this, that, and the third. And then you have these girls that she brings on that are just weird. Like the relationship with them, I don't know if they're her real friends or not, but like even this lady Nell now, it's like, you know, she's loyal to me. It's like she brings, I don't know what her purpose in that is, but it's weird. And now we have people like Tiffany who they can keep. I like Stormy, but I'm glad Destiny's gone. But Melody has introduced these people to the show, and I wish that she would bring, like, where are all the bad bitches? Like, if everyone says Mel's a boss bitch, she got several streams of income, that's good. Let us see that. Or bring up the other bad bitches. You just can't be, what I noticed from Mel is the people that I've seen her with are all kind of beneath her, except for Stormy. And I'm just talking about the people that she has brought on the show. And it doesn't make good TV. Yes, Melody, maybe a lot of you guys as heroes, you might empathize with her. You might, you know, some of those things may have happened to you, but it doesn't make good TV for her to just be, as Diana would say, Diana Jenkins, well, not Diana, she's just disengaging. Like, it's not fun to watch. Who said they was disengaging? That's Lisa Barnes. No, Meredith.
It was a Meredith from Salt Lake City.
She's on her Meredith, and
yeah,
she can just get her executive producer credits and just find, because the only excitement we had this year was really Sheree. And I would like to see Martell like parade these women in or have these relationships with these women. And if Melody wants to leave, let her leave, because if she's not going to show us anything, like, let her go. And it's not hateful towards Mel.
Right.
I hate Mel.
Martell should come with his own prescription of penicillin.
That too. I would love to see that.
Exactly. For real.
Exactly.
For
The last
real.
thing I want to say with Mel, the last thing I want to say is where Mel lost me was leaning too far into this victim role. Like, oh, Martell did this to me. Martell did it to me. And then what I really don't identify with is how she puts on this like facade of everything's okay. I'm a bad bitch. I'm going to keep it moving, when it's okay for you to not. It's fake to me for her, you know, just, oh, life is great. I got it going on. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But you're clearly bothered. You can't even be in the same room with Martell. You use the children as pawns. You don't let them come to their book signing. You don't. It's so many underhanded things that she does and is not talked about. You guys give it a pass because I don't know why y'all like. I don't get it. But she's not, you know, all cupcakes and rainbows. She is like. She's kind of like despicable, just as despicable as Martell. And I yield my time.
Right.
Thank you for
Hi,
your
ma'ams.
opinion.
Can I respond to that?
Is
Now,
this pretty
Or
brown?
can I?
I go.
she
I'm a
didn't
little
let
Let
her
me
get
scared.
over the book
go.
and with their book.
Yeah, you're gonna be the last one, but hold on, let me just do these super chats.
Okay,
Court,
no problem.
Love Jones, see how this works? Courtney says, "Oh, I disagree with you, but I love you own your passion." Look at that. We're crossing the lines tonight. We're making,
Yeah.
and then
Well,
Quincy, thank you
like
so
I
much for the super
said,
chat.
okay, you know, I was being over talked and then, you know, that's all.
Okay.
Sorry about that. I didn't mean to yell, but you know, everybody was trying to talk
Can I
over
go
me.
later?
Quincy
Can I go
says,
one more time?
hold on
Can I
one
say
second,
something
guys.
really quick?
Hold on 1 second. Quincy, thank you so much for the super chat. Quincy says 15 seasons and 10 been trash. Storylines break around 4. Quincy's talking about RHOA.
Can I say
okay.
something
I don't
really
disagree.
quickly?
Who's this?
Dolce.
Okay.
So
And then
just
Pretty
really
Brown Eyes.
quickly, if you agree or disagree with Mel, it's not that someone's a fan of them. You just see her plight. And if I say, you know, there are a lot of male identified women, if it doesn't apply to you, it shouldn't be like a dagger. It's not meant to be personal at all. But what I'm trying to say in that area is
Well,
if
you
you have the
can't say it. I
portrayal of
don't
that
like it because
particular
they
level,
label
Hold on,
me
no,
because
we
I
gotta
look
let
like
Quincy
it.
finish. Hold on,
That's
we gotta
not
let
fair.
her
That's like
finish.
if you have
Hold on,
betrayal,
we gotta let Dolce
if
finish,
you have
and then
betrayal
Big
on
dog
Pretty
will
that,
Brown.
holler.
if you have betrayal on that level where someone is giving their body to someone else for years, having babies and the A words with them, and then come to find out they actually have a baby and you're married, and the money that you're bringing to the table, they're sharing with someone outside your home, that's a betrayal on a different level. And we can't just quantify cheating on a lower level of like, oh, he just was cheating. No, cheating should not be acceptable. And that's something in our culture, Black culture, that we have accepted. We should no longer accept that.
But
Spouses
how
should be
long are we going to
faithful with
nail
Exactly.
each
Martell to
other.
this
Richie,
cross?
So
no, we're not gonna you
this
It's
yielded
is
okay
to
to
the
leave
time,
out.
Richie.
That
the
man
whole
cheating
reason
on
why
her.
they're fighting is because of the
Do we have to
foundation
nail?
that was
Just she should
I'm
broken.
nail
about to
him to
mute
a
y'all.
cross.
I don't want to
But the
mute
thing is,
y'all.
you
Yeah, me either.
also brought up how males using children for pawns. If it's my weekend and you plan a book signing on my weekend, I don't have to bring the kids. If you are taking me to
That
court
part.
to take the children from me, I don't have to film with you. If you
What did the
put it
judge
at that
say?
level, on the basic level,
Richie,
they don't have to engage with each other.
Right.
And
What
Mel
the
shouldn't
judge
have to
say?
engage with him. She shouldn't.
Love Jones,
It was false. It
y'all are
was all
wearing me out.
fabrication.
But
So
what I see, I get where you guys are coming from, and you guys are in a different generation than me, and that's fine. And I see your understanding of that. Maybe you do identify a certain way, and that's fine. It's okay.
Okay, Love Jones, please jump in and
no, actually, I
please
don't.
don't
That's
set
like, well,
my
maybe you
laptop
identify as
on
being a
fire.
chicken.
Love Jones. I'm not Love Jones. No, not Love Jones. No. Sorry. Pretty Brown is your turn.
Hi, ma'am. This is my first time on your channel. Thank you for allowing me up. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Okay, I'm a proud mellometer. I wear the
Me
shirt.
too.
I have a channel.
Amen.
Yes, I am. And so what? Okay, I'm not up here to windmill or make anybody or convince anybody to be a fan of males that is not.
That part.
My, my whole point of coming up here was just to respond to certain things that were not true that were said on the panel, or in my opinion, they were not true. You know, we all have a right to believe how we believe, but in my opinion, I would not come on a channel that's discussing that I no longer am interested in nor watch. It just doesn't make sense to me. And then on top of that, as the Dulce just explained, why should she film with him when, number one, she had a restraining order against him because he was actively, allegedly stalking her? That was in the court documents that was read. He's trying to take her children from her. He's bashing her. Why would she want to film with him? Yes, she's over it, but she's contractually obligated and it's her show. So why would she leave her show if everyone else is so over it? Let them leave and start their own show, because in fact, after that 47-acre deal, it was Melody's builder's license. It was her contacts. Because if y'all remember back, she was so bougie. I get that, Richie. You can roll your eyes. It's fine.
Okay, hold
It's
on.
fine. Okay, I won't address her. I won't address her. I'll just talk and won't look. I'll just cover my hand over her face so I don't have to see her making expressions to what I'm saying. Okay. So anyway, she basically backed out of the deal because they were doing stuff that was fraudulently, in my opinion, and it wouldn't go through. So after that happened, that knocked a lot of them out of a lot of money. And then on top of that, when Mel divorced Martell, she basically took everything with her but her name that she finally got back, thank God. And it's like, if he pitched the show, why can't he make his coleslaw famous? Why can't all of the rest of them who don't need her, who hate her, why can't they be famous? None of them have been successful outside of when she was attached to them. That's why they wanted her to appear in that Black Expo.
They all got business.
Everybody was
attack every day, all day. That's a lie.
Excuse me.
Love
Everyone was
Jones.
respectful when you guys were talking.
Yeah, I definitely
Everyone was
want Pretty Brown
respectful.
Eyes to be able to say her piece like
Exactly.
everybody else has the opportunity to.
Thank you, Mims. I appreciate it. Okay, so with that being said, they wanted her because they wanted her fans, her mellometers that everyone loves to hate, and money. The T Squad or whatever, the Raindrops, none of them spend money. Whatever she does, it sells out. Whatever concert or whatever she's doing, it sells out. Her fans support her. Not only do they support her by watching the show, they buy her merchandise, and they come up on these panels where they're hated and defend her. And it's not about a cult. It's just about having some type of grace for a woman that has been through it all. Everybody was windmilling for Kimmy last week because we felt that she's also being degraded by her husband in that situation while she's fighting cancer. So it's not about, millimeters are delusional fans and we're a cult. No, we can empathize with a woman that's going through something. But yes, she's over it and she's past it. The divorce is final. It's 3 years later. Martell is the one sending the documents to the YouTubers to that only depict her in a bad light. But he didn't say about the rest, because a lot of the rest of those documents don't favor him either. So it's just so one-sided and biased. If you don't like her, you don't like her. If you don't like the show, you don't like the show. But we can all agree to disagree. This a panel with everyone that's in this live is here because of the show. So for y'all to don't like it and don't watch it, it's 900 people in this chat about Love and Marriage Huntsville and Mel.
Well, Pretty Brown Eyes.
And Atlanta,
No. Hold on. We're not doing that.
I'm here. I'm not going
Pretty
nowhere.
Brown Eyes. How many of them people like the video? That's what I want to know.
Well, I like to see when I come into your house, Mims. When I come into somebody's house,
561.
I speak and I like the video out of respect. And I'm a fan of yours from far away. And I just so happen to come up on this one because you were talking about my boo, my God, my queen, Melody Cherie Rod.
Yeah.
And I'm being facetious, ladies.
We know you're being facetious, Pretty Brown Eyes. Guys,
I believe you.
I got a question, man.
Right. Go.
Hold
you
on
can
one
believe
second.
me. It's
I
fine.
saw that you were being messy and sent a super chat, Autumn in LA from the panel. I saw. I don't even see it anymore. I will highlight it. I promise.
See what Richie did? She got all this mess. She not like me. See, I was nice. I was calm. Richie up here starting
You
all
can't
this.
blame
That's a goddamn lie.
You can't blame
I want to know
Richie
because
up here and directly be talking to
Ma'am, just
people like that on this
I don't
show.
know why
sorry.
anybody
One other
I
thing
first of
that I
said
all,
in
forgot to
I
terms
say.
of
said
the
Martell
show.
That
and
ain't what she
Melanie
Find a
thought.
super
was
chat,
in
man.
the show. Anybody
Ma'ams,
said
I'm
it was
finding
just
it.
just
Martell, like
one
That ain't
all
other
what
that.
she
thing I
thought,
forgot
and
to
you
say,
ain't
and
gonna
then
blame Richie
everyone.
for that. No.
They hear what they
Nope.
want to hear, boy.
Well, one other thing, and his coleslaw was the one that mentioned that he was bisexual in the defense of the young man that says he felt that Carlos and the guy had something going on. His side piece said that.
Wait, Arion said that
See,
Yes,
Martell
yeah,
he
is
see
said
what you
he
bisexual?
said
started,
that
Q.
first, and
Nobody
See
she
what
seen
you
and she
that.
started,
We
Q.
all
so
seen
hold
Melanie
on,
do it.
y'all,
Here
hold
y'all
on.
go. Ain't
And
nobody see Francois
hold
say
on, Miss
nothing.
Love
Who seen
Jones.
Melanie do
Everybody
it?
was
Here
quiet
y'all
when you
go
were
try to put it
talking.
on somebody else.
Come
If she
on,
did,
Miss
we
Love
didn't see
Jones.
it.
Don't do
Wait
that.
a
We
minute.
didn't
Okay,
Wait a
see
minute.
it.
y'all.
Hold
Let
up.
me
Y'all,
Hold
y'all,
up.
finish.
We
y'all,
didn't
this is
see
too
Just
it.
much.
let me finish.
Hold
Hold
on.
up.
Hold on.
Oh my
Hold no,
No,
God.
no,
because
no,
I
Everybody's
no,
want I
no.
talking.
wasn't
Matt,
Everybody's
Hold
hold
on.
talking,
up.
girl.
One at a
Hold
time. We
on.
don't do
Love
that up
Jones.
here. Mims
Oh
don't
my
go for that.
goodness.
Hold on. Hold on. Y'all, I get that everybody's passionate. These are extremely fun for me to do, even though by the end of it, I usually have a headache. We can't go at it like this
Yeah,
on
no.
this platform. And I know a lot of platforms are very polarizing. They either like love melody and they have whole, forms for that, or they hate melody and they have whole forms for that. I'm one of the few that you can actually engage with people and bounce ideas off of, but we have to remain respectful of one
Exactly.
another when we're doing it. Larger Curves had something to say. Autumn sent this messy ass super chat, so I got to read it. She's on the panel. It says, "The Lies You Tell" caller. I gave 7 seasons to that show. So yes, I can come up and talk about it. Melamita's sister. Thank you so much for your messy ass super chat. That's this lady right here. Marjorie,
Spotlight me. Go ahead, boo.
Marjorie, you had raised your hand. Jump
Who she
in.
calling a lie? Who she calling saying lies though? Who she talking to?
The last person who was the last
I
caller who
was
was
just
talking.
addressing it.
Who she smoke? That's a cigarette.
Larger, please jump in.
Yeah.
You said you had a point.
Um, well, it's just like, I wanted to respond to the whole like Melody should leave the show thing.
Go
I'm
for it.
like, oh, mind blown over the fact that people could want the creator of what they created to leave a show because she's doing something different on a show that is based off of her conception. You know what I'm saying? And instead of like make her leave, how about since she's the creation, how about we get rid of the poison? How about we get rid of the toxins? How about we get some people that are on her vibe? How about that? Instead of her having to drag these people up here because I don't know what her friend circle is like that other person said. I'm not sure about that. But get people that are up to her level, so that are up in the upper echelon, because she's raising up. And no wonder she doesn't want to do the black thing with them, a regurgitated um group 6 core 6 thing. She doesn't have to want to do that. But she shouldn't have to leave the show. She created the show. Get rid of Martell. He's the one with nothing going on. He literally has nothing
That's not
going on.
true. He's
I'm not
launching
even
a food
a millimeter.
line.
A millimeter. Just looking at the show as a person with eyeballs, and I see that Melody is not the issue in this exact equation. And then for the Scott brothers to constantly try to do things to even disparage her mother. Come on, I thought moms were supposed to be off limits. We get so mad if you say anything to Miss Wanda, but you can bring a whole dude on from the backyard to try to say that him and Van had, whatever, and, bring all that stuff up. But we're just supposed to overlook that, like that didn't happen, and then pretend like when a person reacts to that or says anything that could be like contrary, it was out of a response to something that's already been done to her. Why should she leave? Get the poisons out. We've literally seen her be stalked on TV. He's had to be physically restrained from attacking her. Numerous seasons. Granted, the seasons are 52 episodes, and there's 52 weeks in a year. Yeah, that part. That's why it feels so long, you guys. These really long seasons. But we've seen her be stalked. We've seen her be attacked by the people she brought on. It is weird. that she brings on these people that always end up coming for her ankles and turning their back on her. And like, I don't understand what that's about either, but she shouldn't have to leave. One more thing. Why is it that her creating healthy boundaries by not wanting to exactly go fake support a person that just called me evil on a reunion with such vitriol to one of the highest rated shows for the season? And you really haven't corrected that, but I'm supposed to come do and sit with you and Kiki and have lunch. I mean, she's allowed to have residual feelings and energy based off of that experience. Even if she says, on, she's still allowed the room for that. So why should she have to leave? I just don't understand.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
If you just name like maybe 4 people Melody doesn't get along with, or I don't use the wrong words. I don't want to, set the millimeters off, that she doesn't get along with. My point was, in terms of the show, I don't subscribe to Melody's personal life. In terms of the show, if she's avoiding all these people, what kind of show is that? And this is what I'm saying, like the ratings are suffering because there's like nothing to watch. I said that she was an integral part, a main part of the show. It was centered around her and Martell to go from that to completely disengaging and not getting along with anyone. It's not good to watch. That's all I'm saying.
Ma'am, she shouldn't have to leave. I agree completely.
I didn't say she had to leave, but I'm just saying, like, I wish you would like come back. I understand her and Martell have some stuff going on. I don't know what it is or whatever. I don't subscribe to all of that. But I wish you would like, come back in, girl. Like if you don't want to do the comeback group, start your own group. Like I liked seeing her when she was showing the people how to do the stuff with the houses and stuff. Like we need more financial literacy in our community. Like I would love to see, like she should start a rival, comeback group or something with her girlfriend, whatever. Like there's many ways you can take it. Not just, I'm not speaking to anyone and I'm so above this. She could do something else. I like Mel for the most part, but I don't like what she's doing.
Ma'am, can I say
something? We got Richie to admit that she likes some parts of Melody. Y'all,
I know.
I like when she I think Letitia is so duplicitous. She envies Mel, wants to be her, and hates her all at the same time.
They powerful.
I think she takes her little shots at her all the time, and now I feel like Tisha feels like she's on the up, and Mel is like not necessarily on the down, but her family is destroyed, and Tisha takes every opportunity she can to rub that in her face, just like at that meeting they had. She was like, "We're not doing that." Like I see all of that, like. And I wish Melody would like reactivate and get back on her stuff, like in terms of being on the show. And you know what? I'm not doing this. I already started this comeback group. You can play with my leftovers. I'm gonna start something completely different, and do this over here. And I'm gonna snatch Tiffany, and I'm gonna make Kimmy pick a side, or I'm gonna start some drama between Kimmy and Tisha, because Kimmy wants to come over here with me instead of you. Like that's all the kind of stuff I would be doing if I was Mel.
Okay, I'm gonna let Corey jump in really quick, and then we're gonna finish with prosperity, and then I have a couple of super chats I gotta get to.
Okay, listen, I'm gonna say this right here. That little sweet wine is the dregs of Sutter Home Wines. Okay, that is not that's not something marketable. It's not gonna go but so far. His suits aren't going to go by so far. You want to know why? Because Martell doesn't have business acumen. Mel was the brains of everything. He hitched his wagon to her cart, right? He hitched his horse to her cart, okay? He probably didn't even go through school and do his own work. Being a so-called athlete is how he got through it.
He graduated at 20.
All the time when they play sports. People do their homework. People do their tests.
20 years old, he graduated from high school.
Graduated from high school at 20.
He do that. You know what I'm saying? So Martell has nothing really going, and the reason why he's so toxic is because everyone else around him is happy and he's not. Because him and Sheree ain't bumping uglies. Come on.
They might.
No,
We don't know.
they not cute. Cute, come on.
We're not gonna get
She
too
probably
riled up.
bench more than him too.
Exactly. So that makes him feel less of a man.
Oh my God.
Oh God.
Well, Corey,
Lord.
do you
Okay.
agree
No,
like that
no,
was the
no,
most
no,
fun
no, hold on,
when
no,
Mark
hold
Sheree
on,
came
hold
on?
on. I gotta get to my
No, it
super
wasn't
chat.
fun.
Hold on.
I don't like Sheree, so it wasn't fun.
Creative Concepts said, Creative Concepts event planning. Thank you so much for the super chat. They said,
But
I went to the
agree with
expo
most.
and they are all low budget from Melody down. They are not the top of the tier. Wow. And Creative Concepts event planning would know because they are Creative Concepts and event planning. Thank you so much for the super chat. Courtney, thank you so much for joining the membership. I really appreciate that. You have been in this chat heavy tonight. But I like that you and Love Jones made a friendship. So I appreciate that. Fueled by Intentions. Thank you so much for the generous super chat. What show did Melody create? Melody and Martell paid to pitch a show to Carlos. He rejected the idea that they presented, but liked their personality and created a different show that worked for his brand. Where is the join link? Oh Lord. I did drop the link multiple times. I'm nervous. Prosperity, you jump in. Does somebody mind dropping down so that Fueled by Intentions can sound off super quick? Because
You have one more super chat, man.
okay. Oh Lord. Of course, you would remind me that you sent another message.
Don't try it, Autumn.
Autumn in LA
I
says
love you, Richie.
millimeters are powerful. They done got Richie B to change her mind. I love it, baby.
Listen.
I may have to take out my millimeter shirt and put it back on. All right,
My
y'all.
mind is the same.
Look at what's happening here.
Richie is messing the show up. I'm sorry. I stand
Thank
by
you
what
so
I
much,
said.
Autumn, for a somewhat messy super chat. So does anybody mind dropping down really quick so we could just let Prosperity jump in?
Wait, it's
and
only
then...
9 people
I'll
left.
drop.
She can't
I'll
come
drop
up.
No,
down.
because Love Jones just came back as well.
I'll drop down, man. Bye, you
All
guys.
right, thank you so much, Autumn.
Richie, you reasonable once in a
Fuel by
every once in a while.
Intentions. You have to hit that link pretty quickly.
I'll drop
Prosperity
down too. I just want to say one thing, but I'll let them talk first.
Prosperity, jump in. Sound
But
off.
Corey,
really
how
quick.
cute would that be if we was all agreeing? That would be a snooze fest. That's what I'm saying about the
I
show.
know.
I just want to say that Mel has filmed with everybody. Mel, it seems like the only one that is willing to bend to accommodate the show and to help the show grow. Because if she didn't, she wouldn't film with nobody. So she's doing her part. It's everybody around her who wants to be her friend one moment, but the next moment they want to be her enemy. You cannot say that this lady has a dark soul, a dark heart. She's a sheep in wolf's clothing. But then ask her to do something for you for free when you are going to get paid at the end of the day. Because do any of us ever would believe that Marceau and Tisha are going to get money from sponsors, put it in somewhere and hide it from themselves? Because her name is Latifah. Like, who's trusting them with money? And hopefully that they'll use it
Can
for
I
a
ask a
good thing.
question?
No, you got to let her finish.
Nobody believes that. So she would be no, I'm not going to do anything for free, especially when we're just coming back together. And I'm only here because they told me I had to be here. I don't want to be around y'all. I don't want to be around my ex-husband. I don't want to participate, but I'm doing this because this is a show that I pitched and this is my baby. So I'm willing to do what it takes to make sure my baby flourishes. But on the other hand, I'm not going the extra mile to make anybody else happy because we all know that they don't do that for her. Mel has been bending and bending and bending since the start of this show. And even her own boss, Carlos King, even taunts this girl. What do you mean? Well, she can't be a side because evidently she the whole restaurant. Like, this lady ain't just is still going through what she's going through with this man at that time. Every reunion is bash Mel, bash Mel, bash Mel, but nobody else wants to say anything towards the Scats. They team up. She has nobody. Her own ex-husband teams up with anybody that's saying something against her. It's beyond crazy that she should have to leave a show or get better or do more on the show to please these people, when are we going to make them do something? When are we going to start making them show their everyday life, their real life? We see why Kimmy want to talk about everybody else's business and be the bone carrier, because look what's going on in her house. She didn't never want that to come out. She was not trying to let that come out. So let me talk about Mel and Martell. Let me talk about, he still love you, girl. Y'all need to get by. Stop doing that. It's not cute. It's not funny. And she don't want it. Martell only needs 1 inch for him to take a mile. He can't be nice. She can't be nice to him because, look, take him on vacation. What do? Go back and tell all your business. His mama sitting there drinking all your liquor, but as soon as she ain't around you, she ain't want those kids in the first place. She ain't never want them. Like, no, God, everybody is against Mel on this show, and she still shows up and show out each and every time she's on the screen. What more do we want from someone who is giving their all when we have other cast members that are giving nothing? Let's talk about them moving from the tiny house to a tinier apartment. Like, let's talk about that. Why are y'all doing that? If you're $17 million in and your wife is $8 million in, why are y'all renovating the home instead of buying a new one until your piece of Plymouth Rock?
Obviously, they're living life.
Move the rocks. Finish moving the trees. Get out the forest and make your house. This makes no sense.
16,000.
You say that you are this CEO of Skull, but we all know that Skull, if you are a part of an entity of Skull, you are not the head. You're maybe the head of your entity of Skull, just like you did Black. That wasn't chocolate in the bottle. That wasn't yours.
They raised $100 in a month for a charity event. Give me a break. They are frauds.
What they can be doing is to the goddamn speech class so she can get her E's and her S's together.
I gotta get to my super chats. Kia Bell Sparks, thank you so much for the super chat. She says Carlos said Mel ain't going nowhere, so we gotta let that go. The problem is no one else has been able to carry the show because of the past. I do think that they could use an overhaul. Definitely overhaul, get rid of the people who aren't really adding to the show and see where the show goes, because the ratings, like the video I did this morning, the ratings are not great. Anytime you have ratings in the 200,000s multiple times, the executives have to be looking at that and figuring out a new plan of action. So I wouldn't be surprised if some people get let go. If they stay the same, I don't know how that would work.
But they don't do anything because their boss tells them, if anybody starts talking about y'all real life and y'all don't want to talk about it, just move over to your business. Just go ahead and deflect. You ain't got to talk about what they want you to talk about. You don't have to give us anything. Just go ahead and deflect and do what you normally do.
Y'all are talking over. Okay, I'm starting to get a little bit. I'm trying to keep it nice here. Y'all can't talk over each other. And you definitely can't talk over me while I'm addressing like super chats, because these are people who have chose to be nice and donate to the channel. So Muted Expressions, thank you so much for the super chat. They say, let's keep it funky. Carlos would order to cut male scenes. We haven't seen Miss Van yet. Tell me this isn't retaliation. I'll wait. Now, Muted Expressions.
I agree.
Does she have? I wonder if she has the ability on the back end as an executive producer to kind of like speak up and say, if I'm shooting scenes with my mom, because I do think that I remember an interview where Ms. Van said that she had filmed, they're just not showing it on the show. So,
Mel said she covered.
But didn't Ms. Van do an interview too?
Yeah. Mel just said on a live tweet or something last week or week before that they cut her mom's scenes.
They have cut everyone. She's been in more than one scene this season, and every last one that she was supposed to have been in, they cut her out. I think they just
hold on. Nope, not done. Not done with my super chats. Fueled by Intentions. Where do you have a lifetime job because you were the first employee of a company? Where they do that at? Steve Jobs was kicked out of the company he created because businesses evolve. Could not find the link. I definitely dropped it for you. Hopefully you'll be.
You're muted.
Read your super chat. I dropped the link specifically for you, Fueled by Intentions. Guys, we're coming up on 2 hours. I love you guys. This is supposed to be a 1 hour thing where we all talk. But as always,
Thank you, Mims.
Everybody gets, really invested, and that's good. That means that there's still some interest. So hope you can hear me better now. Hope in the show. I still watch the show. I appreciate everybody's opinions. And I hope that we can come back and do it. And next time we'll do it where, nobody is like, we're not going to get out of pocket. Everybody, please stay up on this panel after I end the show, because let's talk for a second.
Okay.
But for everybody else, thank you. I appreciate you. And I will see you guys probably tomorrow morning for my next video.
Bye, y'all.